Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. It's a great day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's jump right in. Welcome to the late night show talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I got good news for Steelers fans today. The buzz inside the building, the rumor inside the Steelers organization is Mike McCarthy is not playing games. He's not playing around. There's a new mood, there's a new vibe, there's a new energy inside the Steelers building. One of the type of energy that shows elite concentration, focus, goal-driven. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that Mike McCarthy is going to steer this ship in a direction where no stone gets left overturned or unturned, I should say. And that's what I want to hear about my new head coach, Mike McCarthy. We're going to get into, another linebacker, an ex-linebacker player. He comes in and he throws Tomlin under the bus. He explains in a certain way, how Tomlin was creating chaos and uncertainty. You know, Tomlin really had a problem with saying one thing and doing another. And I'm not talking about game plan and stuff like that, things that the public or your opponents don't need to know. You've heard multiple players say this stuff about Coach Tomlin, that he says one thing and he does another, and it creates a lot of animosity on the team. Not to mention, when you would always hear from Coach Tomlin, hey, we're going to try this and things are going to change, and then week after week it's the same thing. But we'll jump into that in a minute. But there's a new buzz inside the Steelers organization. And that's one of focus. That's one of clarity. The most important thing, the word I want to hear is there's a clear focus, a goal, an agenda. And it doesn't stop. Your work doesn't stop till you accomplish that goal, that objective. And I was really happy when I read this article today. So let's jump in. Mark Capoli, he said he's not playing any games. Capoli notices new feel in Steelers building under Mike McCarthy. He's not playing any games. If he tells you one thing, that's what's going to happen. I wouldn't misconstrue that with being an easy coach, Capoli said via 93.7 The Fans Pomp and Joe show. I've heard stories where he told some players stuff that maybe they didn't want to hear. So he's still a tough coach that's not going to let people walk all over him. Nobody walked all over Tomlin. George Pickens, Antonio Brown, I don't know if they were necessarily walking over him. Oh, you know what? I take that back. George Pickens was pretty much taking the team hostage with his behavior. But Tomlin is notorious for that. He'll literally tell a player one thing and then 2 seconds later he'll change it. I think Tomlin's coaching style, when he used to do that, it really affected the team negatively, the psyche of the team. Wouldn't you rather, just like in any other business, wouldn't you rather know exactly where you stand with your boss or whoever it is that's in charge of you? It makes things easier when you're working, extremely hard to accomplish a goal, that you want to hear the truth, the feedback from your coach or whoever, you're dealing with. And if the coach is saying one thing and other people are saying, it's just a lot of confusion going on. And, when you have 55 grown men on a team, super competitive, super athletic, emotions run high. The last thing you want is the leader of your team, your coach, saying one thing and doing another. It just absolutely destroys morale. Mark Capoli went on to say, good leaders walk a fine line between likability and brutal honesty. If you want to see Mike McCarthy do that, fire up HBO and watch his season of Hard Knocks with the Dallas Cowboys. He comes off as a player's coach, as Mike Tomlin was often labeled, but he showed multiple sides to his personality. Not many coaches are willing to spar with their star quarterback, but McCarthy wasn't shy about trading barbs with an injured Dak Prescott who missed practice. His unwillingness to settle for mediocrity should resonate with Steelers fans who haven't won a playoff game in a decade. This is about winning a world championship, period, because that's all that matters. Going to the playoffs ain't good enough. Having a winning season, not good enough. Getting to the championship game, not good enough, he said on Hard Knocks. Well, thank God, because for the last, 15 years, we have to hear how Coach Tomlin's the greatest coach ever because, he's one game above 500. Listen, I'm just going to stop talking about him. So let me just leave it at that. That's all I want to hear. I don't want to hear, oh, well, for 15 years, Tomlin hasn't had a losing season. I don't want to hear that anymore. I don't want to hear, oh, down the stretch, we made a run, but we just couldn't. It's just like 10 years, we have not won a playoff game. And not only that, the last 5 playoff games, we've been blown out of it hasn't even been close. We look like a complete joke on the field. I have full faith in Mike McCarthy. I really do. I mean, I don't think that's a big deal. He's breaking Dak Prescott's, what. I mean, Dak Prescott hasn't won anything. Look at the incredible quarterbacks that Mike McCarthy has worked with his entire career. I mean, it's just like they're making a big deal because, McCarthy was saying something to Dak Prescott. What does Dak Prescott want? Nothing. It's just like, man, these players today, it is their star quarterback. Okay, he's the starting quarterback for the Cowboys. I'll give him that. He's overpaid. I'll give him that. But why is he a star? Like, what does he want? And you'll be like, oh, you're trying to make something out of nothing. But hey, when you throw the words great around and superstar, they better be Joe Montana. They better be Steve Young. They better be Big Ben. You can't call Dak Prescott a superstar and the guy hasn't won. He's won absolutely nothing in his career. But let's move on. Listen, that's all I want to hear. I want to hear that when you walk in the Steelers building, that there's a sense of urgency, intensity, clear mental focus. Everybody knows what's expected of them, and we're going to get this job done. That's all I want to hear. So there's been some data on Sebastian Joseph Day that's pretty impressive. Okay. One of several Pittsburgh Steelers free agent signings was defensive lineman Sebastian Joseph Day. His addition is an upgrade in depth to the position room compared to last season by all appearances. One attractive aspect of his abilities is his versatility, and today I wanted to learn more and provide context for this fact. For starters, I wanted to look at his total production, and by the end of the article, dissect it by his alignment along defensive line to show what he offered last season compared to his peers at that position. Here is a chart of total snaps using average tackle depth to gauge players, in run defense and pressure rate for pass rushing from Sports Info Solutions. So in 2025, NFL D tackles total run defense pass rush metrics. So here you got Cam Hayward and Keanu Benton, and then you got Sebastian Joseph Day over here. I mean, he's pretty. When you look at this chart, he's clearly playing at a higher level than Cam, and Cam played some really good football last year. Keanu played pretty good. I'll give that to him. I mean, it's a good sign. I'm not exactly sure what this chart means. They come up with all this type of stuff. When you see Sebastian Joseph Day on the field, he looks like a fire hydrant. When he anchors, you can't move him. And the Steelers really need to stop the run. So, I'm just going to move on to the next article. But any positive press I get about our new defensive lineman, I'm going to talk about it. So it's a great statistic. Joseph Day lands on the desirable top right of the chart. So regardless of where he aligned, he was comfortably above average in both. In fact, he was top 20 out of 64 qualifiers in each, tying for 13th in pressure rate, 9.9%, and tied 17th with a 1.8 average tackle depth and run defense. Quite impressive, exceeding my expectations going into the study. That's all I want to hear. And then you look at this chart again. He's above Cam Hayward by a significant amount, and he's really above Keanu Benton. It's a good sign. Pressure rates, Sebastian Joseph Day. Derek Harmon's pressure rate's up there, 8.2% pressure rate, 2.2 yard average tackle depth. I mean, the book's still out on Derek Harmon. He had some games where he looked dominant, then he missed a couple games, and he had a couple games where he's getting blown off the ball 2 to 5 yards down the field. So, I don't want to grade Derek Harmon yet, but it's potentially another pick by Coach Tomlin that could bust out. There's definitely a possibility of that. I don't think it's going to happen. He has the grit, the toughness. He needs to get stronger in the lower body. Again, I don't think he was coached very well, so we're going to give him a new start under Mike McCarthy, and let's hope he's the next Joe Green, because that's what I'm hoping for. Charlie Batch has a lot to say about Aaron Rodgers' contract. I will stand on this 10 toes down. Charlie Batch fires back at doubters, doubles down on Aaron Rodgers' take. There's a lot of people out there who say I have no idea what I'm talking about, Batch said recently on his Snap Count podcast. I will stand on this 10 toes down. He deserves a pay raise. He's not going to play on the number he had last year. For people to say he made a bunch of money. No, he didn't. He didn't make a bunch of money. He played for the bare minimum. I think he played for $10 million. And in the quarterback market, that's absolutely nothing. Aaron Rodgers did the Steelers a big time favor last year, just being like nonchalant about his contract, not giving the Steelers a hard time. I really respect Aaron Rodgers for that. For people to say he made a bunch of money, it's not about the money. Stop counting other people's pockets. This is about his services for the season. Right now, that number is not going to be $13 million. That's what he played for last year. I thought it was 10. If you look at the rest of the league, he falls right into the $30 million range. I'm going to continue to stand on this, regardless if even Adam Schefter is saying it's not a contractual situation. Yes, it is. As long as you've been following this team, tell me the last time that the organization has waited for a player to make a decision. Batch has been involved in football as a player and an analyst for a while, but that doesn't mean he's always right. While Rodgers played well last year, he also had several issues. It's tough to see him getting such a significant payday. Well, that's the market. There's other quarterbacks around the league that are not as good as Aaron Rodgers, and they're making more money than him. Aaron Rodgers really did the Steelers a favor last year, playing for 10 or 13 million. He could have easily got $20 million. Fine, he doesn't have to get $30 million, but he could have asked for 20, and he would have definitely received the money. And Aaron Rodgers even talked about it. He's like, everybody's bad-mouthing me and saying negative things. He's like, I didn't, racist Ryan Clark and woke ESPN. It's just like they're just attacking Aaron Rodgers nonstop. And he's like, hey, listen, I was honest with Coach Tomlin from the beginning that I had a sick family member. And then when it came to contract time, everybody's calling me greedy. I played for the very bare minimum, which he did, obviously. He could have asked the Steelers for a lot more money. Some of these, forget it. Let me just move on. The Steelers are going to give Aaron Rodgers all the time he wants, so he just better get used to it. Steelers double dip on Penn State products in ESPN's latest 3-round mock draft. In the latest 3-round mock draft from ESPN, Mel Kiper Jr., Field Yates, Jordan Reed, and Matt Miller, which saw the analysis alternative picks,